Welcome back to another single figure action figure review. This time we are going to be going over the Call of Duty Ghost from Jazwares. I have a couple of little soldier buddies to do some comparisons. I did forget my Valaverse Swarm Trooper, but if I remember, I will have some scale pictures to compare at the end of this review. But yeah, I was really interested in this line. I have really enjoyed Jazware's offerings when it comes to Halo. I have a couple of their figures that I really enjoyed, but ultimately the AEW line, I'm just in love with those figures, their articulation, and I'm honestly in the camp that I prefer the AEW Jazware, even just basic bodies, and their Supreme figures to the WWE Mattel Ultimate line, which again is my favorite wrestling line, but that's just Jazwares. So I was very curious about this guy. I love Ghost. There he is. So let's see what he's all about. So quick note about the box, and I'm only making a point of this because the AEW figures that I just was speaking about were an absolute pain to unbox with a similar shape, but with this one, it is just opening from the bottom. So hallelujah. Here's Ghost in the tray. I did lose his first little accessory here, but we'll take a look at that now. So there's the tray. There he is in the tray. Time to take a look at these accessories. In the accessory department, he comes with his assault rifle. There are 2 clips that it comes with, and those port right in there, so that's awesome. I always love those features on accessories, and there's 2 of them, so we'll find spots for those clips on Ghost when we get to them. Here's a little sidearm. Now this one is bent in the box, so I'll have to put a little heat to that. No big deal, but it definitely is a sturdier plastic than the Marvel Legends ones, so I am gonna have to heat that up to flatten it out. But yeah, it's not so loosey-goosey. There's actually some firmness right there. And then this was the last little piece, and this is the last accessory. It is a little transmitter walkie-talkie, little paint in there too, which is nice. Nothing crazy, but yeah, some of the buttons do have a little paint detail, which is nice little offering. Well, here he is, Ghost out of the box, and I do have a lot of thoughts. I am a toy dabbler, so if you're new to the channel, I do love experiencing new toys and new toy lines. And even though I had an idea of what I was going to be getting with this guy, it was still a lot of curiosity as to how he would turn out. So there's stuff to like, but number one, like right out of the box, this separated on me, his torso. So that's how that looks. I'm just showing you because that was a little disconcerting at first, and I had to squeeze it. It was like this, very loose, like what's going on? So I did have to kind of pop him back on there. No big deal, but still just something to take note of. So now let's break down the specifics of this figure. We'll start with the look first. So the look is awesome. If you're like me, maybe you saw that they were doing this Call of Duty Modern Warfare line and characters and thought like, wait, I like that video game. Like, I would like to have more video game characters, because that's what I thought. I wanted to have more video game action figure characters represented in my collection. So with Ghost being such a big part of so many different Call of Duty games, and of course Modern Warfare 2, I just immediately gravitated towards him. All right, so from a looks perspective, obviously he does look fantastic. Tatted up, even they kind of tatted and inked up the joints there, which is very cool. That was neat. But yeah, like he is a perfect look rendition of what I would expect to see a Ghost from the video game. The other thing that really caught my eye about this was the cloth goods. So he's got the hood here. Now, if you happen to check out my recent Mezco Robin review, which will be right here, I did talk about how difficult it is in the toy form to capture a good hood. And I'm always going to prefer soft goods because you can at least do more, but as you're kind of seeing without the wire, It's a little bit tough to get it exactly the way that you want. Sometimes it just doesn't sit right or billows out. Like, so yeah, this is gonna need a little work to get the hood really working for me the way that I would want. But it is neat that it's got a little British flag on there, and it looks good with the neck down, like the way they stitched it up. If we take that off for a second, but just to show you the different ways it was stitched to put this all together. But very neat. And like I said, it does actually fall really well just down. Just gotta make sure, because he is wearing those headphones full time. There it is, that it tucks in under the mouthpiece. In terms of the rest of the look itself, you can slide in these two accessories here, which is always welcome. And that is it. In the back there, you still get a little bit of paint detail across the back here, which is nice, especially, even on the belts. So good details there. He's looking muddy. It's like, some of the arm stuff could have been a little bit better paint-wise. I don't know if that's tan or dirt or mud or what. But yeah, so from a looks perspective, he does look really good. He looks really good. Now let's get to articulation. I'm going to take the cape off here just so you can really check it all out. Outside of my initial disappointment with the loose torso, which was corrected when I popped it down, and again, he's going to stay on there. So I really want to just go through the rest. I want to check different things. So for instance, there is no drop down hips there. So that's something to take note of, but there is a thigh cut, which is great. You do have the double jointed knees, which will hit the butt. There you go. But even with an articulated toe, which is a very nice little feature, right? Nice articulated toe, he is still hard to stand. Because of the molding at the bottom of the pants here, I've been having some trouble, and the feet, I think they just might be a little too small for his body. So I have had some trouble in my limited time messing with him while I'm recording this, but just something to take note of. But again, you will get all that articulation. But ankles, yeah, it's not much. There's down and there's up, but it does rock for you, so that is a good thing. All right, arms. Again, I was talking about AEW. Now, the bad thing is I was hoping to get that lower ab crunch. So you won't get any lower ab crunch, which I had hoped. You do get the upper, but that's it. And he does have this big vest, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but you will only get the top crunch there. But you do get butterfly joints, so that's great, and obviously up and around. Double jointed elbows, but take a look at what they decided to do here. The second part of the joint is kind of glued, tucked in under the shirt. So you're really only going to get the one joint of the elbow. So even though it is a double jointed elbow, you're only getting one. Now the good news is you're getting above 90 degrees because it is one half of a double jointed elbow. But that's all you're going to get. So that's a weird, odd choice that they made there. But it's something for you to take note of. That is a thing. All right, and last but not least, you do get some nice looking up there. So that's good, especially if you're getting some creeping type shots. So that's good to know. And you'll get that much down. And you get a little bit of side to side, not too much, a little bit. Very tiny side to side, but you at least get some nice range up and down, so that's really nice. And then lastly, you do get a bicep cut, so that's good to know. Good to know. So from an articulation standpoint, outside of this wobble, which happens when he comes unpopped from inside, you'll get some decent articulation. Again, this isn't going to light the world on fire, but it will get you what you need. So I'm getting ready for the comparison section with the Joes that I have handy. And one of the disappointing things regarding articulation is he cannot do the classic assault rifle pose. Because of this big vest, I cannot, for the life of me, get this to a point where I feel like it looks natural. And that is unfortunate. Like, that's not great. That's not great. So that is a knock because of that vest right there. That's something to pay attention to, because he might not be using that particular assault rifle for action shots. It's going to be more for like shelf and desk display rather than active, because you can't get those arms across with this gigantic vest here. All right. You can kind of see some of the struggle right there of standing him. But here he is next to the Range Viper, the Cobra Range Viper. So that's a typical size for Joe's. And you can see Ghost is just a little bit larger, just a little bit larger. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring in Big Ben. He is a larger Joe. So, you know, back to back here with these two, that is more on point. So, but Big Ben is a larger character in the Joe world. So he is a little bit larger, but it's so close that I'm not worried about the scale being an issue whatsoever, or even worrying about different types of forced perspective with your photography. I think you can just go for it because it's just so close. You can see that they all look great. These are all three really fun figures, but I don't think this Jazwares line is going to be lighting the world on fire anytime soon. I don't think this is going to be replacing your Joes. This is going to be replacing your Valaverse guys. I think it's a good entry, but Ghost was the only one that I wanted from, I think it's just him and Alex Mason. Alex Mason, I felt like looked too goofy in the coconut shoulders there. I thought that the vest helped with the look of Ghost. So from a looks perspective, he's great. He is an absolute pain to stand. Even right now, just sliding him, he's a big pain. That is not fun. So final thoughts. This was a $21 roll of the dice. I bought him for my video game fandom in the Modern Warfare Call of Duty vein. I wanted to have this, figure character represented since he was available. I rolled the dice because I am a toy dabbler and I wanted to see. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it leaves me wanting more. Unfortunately, this is the case where I'm not really blown away by this offering. Am I happy to have him? Yes. Like, I'm not going to go run out and return him immediately. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to hang on to him. I will infuse him in with my G.I. Joes, especially when my Hiss tank shows up. So I'll use him, but he'll be the only one that I do get. And again, keep in mind that he could be more fun. He could be more fun. So thanks for checking out the video. All I'm trying to do is give you the most information to make the best educated buying decision for yourself. At the end of the day, I'm not totally happy with this guy, with my $21 purchase. I'm a little bit of but it depends on what you're going to be using him for. If you can, use him with a stand, you just want him posed up and living on your shelf, which is where he's going to be for most of, his stay with me, then he'll be fine. But if you're somebody that is going to plan on using him all the time in toy photography, I just don't know if you're going to have that much fun with him outside of an occasional type of setup. If he's somebody that you thought, man, I can't wait to use this guy all the time, I think you will find that between the articulation and the standing and the, the small feet, that he's going to be a lot of trouble for what you're going to get out of him. But he is still cool. Again, I like to enjoy the things I spend my money on. I like the cape. I like that he did come with so many accessories. And I like having this character in figure form. So thank you very much for checking out this review. Just so you know, I go live every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about life and toys. So I hope to one day see you in the chat. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.